face off in what could well be the prelude to this season's WAFL Grand Final. West Perth sit on top of the premiership table with 11 wins from 13 starts. Coach Bill Monahan and his men will be shooting for their second victory over the Tigers in 2011 after a thrilling 3-point win back in round 7. Claremont coach Simon McPhee breathed a sigh of relief last weekend as his Chargers came from behind to defeat the Bulldogs by 3 points. The Tigers have been involved in 4 results decided by less than 6 points in 2011, and today's encounter again promises to be a close-fought contest. It's first against second as the Falcons battle the Tigers for the final time before a possible September showdown. It's round 16 of the WAFL, and our game of the day, West Perth and Claremont, live from Arena Joondalup.
Yes, good afternoon everyone, and not just the 2 top teams but really the 2 standout teams of the season so far. They really have been the benchmark for the other clubs in the competition to follow. The Falcons are 11-2, the Tigers 10-3, and so little really has separated these sides throughout the course of the season. One thing is sure, however, that come 5 o'clock this afternoon, if the Falcons win, they skip 2 games clear of Claremont. Claremont wins and they head them off at the top of the table. Speaking of the table, let's go and have a look at it now as it stands after round 16, and you can see West Perth there, a game clear of Claremont, but inferior percentage, only by 3.5%, but it could come down to percentage at the end of the season. South Fremantle clear in 3rd spot, and East Fremantle 2 games clear in 4th spot, 2 games clear, that is, of Subiaco, Swan Districts and Perth, and East Perth and Peel Thunder sitting at the bottom of the table. Yeah, well, we'll go and have a look at the head-to-heads because it's very interesting when you look back only as far as last season, and it was a clean sweep for Claremont. In round 6 they won by 33 points. They extended that to 45 points in round 13 and finished it off in fine style in round 22 by defeating the Falcons by 68 points, only to be runners-up to Swan Districts in the big one. They played only once this season, back in round 7, and it was the other way around, West Perth getting home by 3 points. We're looking at the West Perth team list, Todd. It's been a successful lineup so far. They've actually lost a couple of players to injury today. Josh Pearce being one of them. Kepler Bradley has been kept out with what we have been told is a sore calf, but nevertheless plenty of strength in that lineup.
Yeah, it certainly is. Phil, the half-forward line there, Shadbolt, Goebel, Strike, very good half-forward line. I don't think they'll all start there. Shadbolt's been very good off a half-back flank most of the season, but as I mentioned before, their back 6 is outstanding, and Jay Van Berlo down there, he's a very handy inclusion. And you mentioned Brent LaCrae, he's been an excellent player over a number of years for the Falcons, playing game number 200 and game number 115 for West Perth today. But yeah, very good side all round.
As we flip it over and look at Claremont's lineup, well, Bill Monahan just a moment ago, Corbin, paid them the compliment of saying that they are the most skillful team in the competition, and you'd find it difficult to argue with that, notwithstanding they're just a game behind West Perth on the list.
That's exactly right, Phil. They're so well-rounded as well, Claremont. I mean, you can even look at the players that played in the reserves today, the likes of Orzell, Broome, Hamp, Chad Jones coming back from injury, Nisbet and Laurie. You know, they're all, star quality players that would be in any other club's best 22. But you look at the lineup they've got today, Blake Anderson in the back pocket there. He played such an important role towards the latter stage of 2010 to get Claremont through to that grand final last year. Ian Richardson at half forward, arguably my favourite player in the competition. He's just always great to watch, and this adds that extra spark for Claremont in their forward line. Bo Wilkes last week having a roll up forward, kicked 6 goals last Sunday against South Fremantle, and Bo Waters, who we've touched on already on the half-back flank as well. Who knows, only perhaps 1 week away from returning to the West Coast Eagles team. Forward. So here we go, round 16, the 2 top teams. And Andrews against his old side, won the tap and fell in the lap of his direct opponent in Cunin, who gets the first kick forward for West Perth. Now tackled with it is Goebbels, and he's been penalised.
Tough decision, no prior, but umpire's trying to sort him out early.
Holding the ball, advantage applied, McLernan, loose hand pass over the head of Brabazon. Clever footwork, able to elude Salisic, who went to the ground, and now Brabazon off his unpreferred left, tumbles a kick towards left half forward, bouncing footy out in front of Lee, happy to find the safety of the boundary line.
Let's go down to Rod Willett, who's got the Falcons bench.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Stephen Brown just getting a little bit of work. It is chilly for the players as well. Mark Crisp, Joel Rice and Aaron Black on the bench for West Perth.
McLernan standing right alongside Hutchins on his return to the team today as Andrews in front wins the tap. Gordonen taken off it. Shammer for the Tigers. Hand pass away to Richardson. Tackled over the boundary line by Salisic. We'll have another throw in at half forward for Claremont, kicking towards the left of your screen in this opening term.
Andrew Strike being picked up by Ian Rowe. Big job there for Rowe, but he's well and truly up for a great player.
Yep, really puts in a bad one. Andrews in front, just pops the ball down to the front of the pack. Warden swooped on it, was immediately taken in a tackle. Had no chance of getting rid of the football. Let's go down to the Tigers bench and Rod Willett again.
Well, I talked about some of the stars for Claremont. Have a listen to this. We've got Kane Mitchell on the bench, Andrew Foster, Alroy Gilligan, Trinity Hanley. Not a bad bunch there.
Fantastic. Well, it's a great group. They really have got a very strong squad as Andrews got it down to Shammer. Nice hand pass at close quarters to Blackwell onto the right boot. Almost a mark down there to Lee. Bo Wilkes gets the crumbs. Hand passes down to Brett Jones, who's got forward. Puts it right across the face of goal. It's going to land in the pocket. Kept in out there by Lee. But then he's worked over the boundary line. So there will be a throw-in.
Interesting to see Bo Wilkes starting at full forward. Jones pushing forward. Pretty unfamiliar territory for those two boys. They're usually down back.
Boundary umpire gives it plenty of elevation. Andrews pops it down. Comes down to Bedford. And then it goes to Whedon. Whedon throws it onto the boot. And he has snapped the first goal of the game. After just 2 minutes of play, Claremont have done all of the attacking. And Garrick Whedon is terrific when he gets front and centre. Yeah. Gilligan now to Blackwell, murders the kick, getting a hand through it though now with Saunders, paddles it to his own advantage, then buffeted it off it. Good defensive play by Flay, knocked the ball clear. Under a lot of pressure down there was Tedesco, picked up now by Rutherford. He kicks from just in advance of right half forward, and I think it's a good effort. Well done by the skipper. Well, it was good forward pressure there by the Tigers.
Blake Anderson for the Tigers. Kicks down the outer wing. Handley marks and plays on quickly. Maybe touch, no, Mark paid out towards Shammer, who's marking it right half forward. Inside 50, Richardson after the back, couldn't take the mark. Down to Foster. He's taken high.
Yeah, look, he certainly was taken high, but he did stumble in there. I don't think he did it on purpose, but he just sort of went for the shimmy there and the shake and just went low, and the tackle went high. And, of course, a free kick, not too far out, 35 metres out, but with this breeze, still a tricky kick. We'll need to just kick it at the right-hand goal post. Quality player, kicks a quality goal for them.
He's always a very, very good kick on goal, Andrew Foster, and he's got his first of the afternoon. The Tigers away to a fast start. They're 3 straight 18. West Perth, 3 behinds.
Yeah, good work.
It's not a real reflection of how it's being played, but Andrews is rucking well, got it down to Gilligan, clears the centre square with a grubbered kick. Van Berlo is down there, but he's taken in a tackle. Oh, somehow Flay emerges. I don't know how he got a hold of the football. He just ripped it out of someone's arms. Goes with a long kick to the half-forward line. Good punch by Crawford. Mitchell couldn't pick it up. Going through there was Rice. He was dispossessed, but Black picks it up. Hand pass to Gobels. Here's a goal coming up. Gobels kicks it into the goal square. Getting back, Salikos takes a courageous mark.
Yeah, it certainly was. He lacks no courage. This bloke we see in replay, eyes for the ball only. He knew the goalpost was there somewhere. Lucky there's a lot of padding on that goalpost. He's taken it in the square, of course, so he goes back straight out in front, kicks the goal. West Perth's first for the afternoon. Probably not a badly needed one, but I'm sure their supporters, as you can hear in the background, starting to cheer on their team as they do. But
okay. Still in fashion for some. Long kick. Falcons better place to mark, but no mark forthcoming. Foster on his knees. Through went Wilkes. Fed the ball into open space. Who's there? Whedon. Anticipated. Hand pass to Bravazon. Kicks across his body. Does it come back far enough? I think it does. Well, Claremont really on song with their goal kicking this afternoon. And Ryan Bravazon has really kicked that to a nicety. Just let the breeze do its work. And they've got 4 straight.
Spent 4 seasons with the Swans. Ryan Brabazon playing 3 games in that time.
24 years of age, Ryan Brabazon turns 25 the end of the year.
Restart back in the centre. Stockley doing the ruck work, hooks it down behind and then follows up his own footy to centre half forward, marking his Goebbels. He's too far from home, so he looks for an option inside 50, and Salicic out on a strong lead. Takes the mark at left half forward.
Jeez, I was just making a note there, Corbin. I put my head down for a minute and Salicic has come out. I didn't even see who cleared that out, but well done by the Falcons.
You must learn to read to write without having your head down, Todd.
Okay, thanks, Phil. I'll practice that during the week. But Jason Salicic, he's already had one shot from pretty much the exact same position on the ground. He tugged that a bit left, so I don't think he'll get this one wrong.
Kick on its way from Jason Salicic. He likes it. So do the West Perth fans down in front of us. Salicic with his first of the afternoon. West Perth get their second, and they draw back within 9 points of the Tigers as we're approaching time on in the first term.
And look, kicking it long, kicking it well.
The ball is red hot. Centre clearance is so important. Stockley won the tap. Shammer got the hand pass to Franz. Now Shammer gets it back. Goes by left boot. And there was a kick down the ground that Shammer dealt with after he got rid of the football. So Lewis Stevenson with a free.
Yeah, well, he found the target on the left foot. It was a great kick by Byron Shammer.
Ball has a bit too much carry. Foster found himself in possession at the back of the pack. Screws the ball goalward. Look at it come back. Claremont hands up. It's been marked down there by Andrews, who's been rucking brilliantly, centre forward now, and has done a great job down there as well.
Yeah, he has, and good story, Mitch Andrews, and he just needs to think this one through. Just take his time, just line it up, come around on the left. He's going on the banana.
He's played on.
He's kicked it. Well done, good fella.
That's a great goal. Well, Claremont just cannot miss. They're kicking them from everywhere. Bob Johnson, former president, is ecstatic, as is Mitch Andrews, and the Tigers 5 straight. Westport 2-3.
Yeah. That was 2, thank you.
Leaps very high, hit him in the back and favoured Stockley as he goes forward for West Perth. Good mark. Very high, Goebbels.
He's hurt himself, I think, Corbin there, and 50 metres.
It's a long way down. When you fly that high for Jeff Goebbels, we'll have a look again here on the replay.
He might have come down on his head, or let's see.
He's falling underneath Anderson.
Maybe just hurt his hip there, and the Claremont player not getting the ball back to him on the full. Terrible error, and he'll kick his first for the afternoon, Jeff Goebbels. Certainly won't miss from here. He's on the goal line.
Won't be happy with that, Simon McPhee. Already one shot from the top of the square from Salikas earlier, and now Goebbels pops it through. West Perth back within 9 points again in this seesawing affair in the opening term after Claremont kicked the opening 3 in the battle of the 2 top teams in the WAFL.
Yeah. By himself. The umpire was actually right near him, and I think the West Perth player may have thought it was a Claremont defender standing near Coonan because of the colours, like Rod mentioned a bit earlier, as we see a free kick to West Perth in the ruck.
Yeah, going the way of Stockley. He was just taken high. Both Franz and Lee competing for Claremont and sandwiched in between.
No, it's gone to someone off the ball, Corbin. It must have. It looks like Mark Hutchings, is it, or is it
Crisp?
Mark Crisp.
On that line.
So I didn't see what happened there. We might see that in replay, but there's young Mark Crisp playing game number 13.
Excellent pick up,
and it is Crisp up here today, Todd.
Oh, yes, he'd feel right at home here, Crisp. I'd be going to stand there, Dustin Burns, to warm up.
And his 3rd game of the season. He's only got the 1 goal so far. Kick on its way. Salicic ping one from there earlier, and now Cripps adds his name to the goal kickers list. We've had 9 individual goal kickers in an entertaining opening term.
West Perth getting plenty of numbers back, and it's paying dividends. Flared pass into the centre square. Coonan having a great battle with Andrews. Coonan traverses the centre square, finds strike, he's free, delivers to a diving player down there in Mellington, who's marked very low to the ground, 35 metres out and directly in front.
Yes, I like this kid. We didn't have a chance before the game to say a bit of a word about him, but I've seen him 2 or 3 times for West Perth. Had a bit of a taste of AFL footy a couple of weeks ago, Corbin, but I love the way he goes about it. And I think he's got a bright future at Fremantle, and he's a terrific kick of the ball with that long left foot that he's got.
If he's straight, Todd, West Perth hit the front after they conceded about 3 goals to Claremont. Mellington liked it immediately at lefty's boot. So that trusty left boot.
To Franz at half back, he chips further afield to Shammer, marking on the outer wing. Shammer to right half forward, Handley underneath it, marks and turns to play on immediately, goes long to the goal line. Back there for the Tigers is Saunders. Has he paid the mark? Certainly right on the line.
Yeah, terrific mark there. Good body work, took it on the chest going forward, and Ben Saunders.
Yeah, straight out here from the line.
Saw him kick 3 goals in the first Foxtel Cup game against Claremont. Looked very good that day. He's had to bide his time in the 2s. Made his debut last week. He steps around and he's kicked a ripper.
Another banana from that pocket by the Tigers. They've kicked 2 out of their 6 from that position. 6 goals straight. Quite unbelievable on this blustery day. And as he gets the congratulations by his teammate. And who kicked that in? Was that
He gets it then off to Waters, swings it across his body, beautifully directed to half-back and Handley. He's clear, takes a couple of bounces. Kernan is gaining on him. He did well. It was a good pass in the end, a grubber, but it found Richardson. He's caught, hand pass, perhaps this time for Claremont. Blackwell ahead of right centre wing, delivers into the pocket, and Foster has taken the mark. Well, the umpire in the end, I think, paid the push, but I think he held the mark as the... Was that the siren? No.
No, that's just a WPerth supporter. But I can tell you now, Andrew Foster ran, 140 metres to get to where he's taken that mark. I was watching him because I thought Trinity Handley might have used him running through the middle of the ground, but Handley was more concerned about the big man Kernan chasing him. But he'd be pretty tired, Andrew Foster, but still puts it straight through the middle.
His second goal, and both from a very similar spot. So just when I thought there was time only for WPerth to kick a goal, quick transference of play. Foster's got his second. Claremont have their seventh.
Kicks to vacant space on the broadcast wing. Brown leads in the chase of the footy. Gathers, just pops a little high bomb over the top, and awkward footy from Brown.
50 metres.
Black to sit underneath off. And then caught one in the back from Shammer as well after he took the mark.
Yeah, look, there was just bad timing. I think Byron Shammer, and the ball may have held up a bit. He had his eyes on the ball, but it certainly was late. It was just bad. It was just poor timing there by Byron. He couldn't get there and tried to brace himself to, and he stepped on his foot as well just to rub it in. But Simon McPhee won't be happy with that because there's no way he would have kicked that from out there. But this is going to be, not a certain goal because of the breeze, but certainly a lot easier than the shot he had from where he got the ball.
Well, the first 50-metre penalty they gave away cost a goal as Black on his way and makes sure it's the same penalty for the Tigers.
WPerth kick it out of bounds on the full once again. We see Shammer there, he's wincing in pain, helped by the physio, but look, we'll get right onto that, no doubt. Seems he's sitting down there doing nothing in the sun.
So Stevenson works back in defence, dropping the mark he probably should have taken was Gilligan, had centre-half back. Now he's kicked into Mellington. Mellington smothers, gathers, strolls to 25 out and goals. Second for Josh Mellington.
One of their most experienced players, Dustin Burns, gets the right boot into it. On the lead there was Morrow. The breeze has done something to that. It's gone over the line and out of bounds on the full. Claremont go forward again. Rowe, high kick to full forward. Oh, mark there, but Hutchings not paid. Saunders sockers it off the ground. Great goal by the Tigers. Young Saunders, in just his second game, has made something out of nothing.
So Lee doing the ruck work down to Waters, has it at centre-half back for the Tigers, hooks the kick out to half-back. He finds Elroy Gilligan, sweeping hand pass forward in the lap of Brabazon, puts the burners on straight away as he takes a bounce, closing his Brown. Brabazon gets his kick away inside 50 for Claremont. Foster, sprawling mark at centre-half forward, slightly right of centre.
Possibly a bit too far out, Corbin, or...
Breeze blowing out towards the right-hand goalpost, so he'll have to start it out towards the left. He's going to go up, light up and try for distance. He's got the distance, and again, the accuracy is spot on. A third for Foster. Wants to dish it off by hand, finds Black. Black will go across the centre square. On the outer side is Bartholomew. He marks, he'll go back and take his kick.
He's got Hutchins out here free. He's got the big Kernan getting in forward, but he's found Salikas on the lead. Well,
there's Bartholomew out wide to Salikas and marking just inside the boundary line, about 5 metres to his right. He'll be shooting from a good 50 metres out.
And the breeze will assist him here a little bit, Corbin.
Yep.
Maybe just the right-hand goalpost, and the breeze should just bring it around slightly. The goal umpire's ready to make his move down there. Looks like a cat about to pounce.
So anything, the breeze just blowing to the bottom right corner of your screen as you're watching at home. Salikas will have to hang this out to the right, as Todd Ridley mentioned. The kick is on the way. He's a great kick of the footy as well. A goal to Salikas. He gets his second of the afternoon. And WPerth again, drawback within 3 points of the Tigers.
Was McClernon, high kick, bounce read nicely by Salisic, feeds the hand pass defensively to Burns. He straightens up, goes to the lead there of Rice. Good work by Jones to spoil. Then the second effort, got it off to Brabazon, gave the Donarski, fended one off and then straightened up and gave the kick beautifully to a teammate in Shammer with his left calf heavily strapped.
Geez, that was terrific play by Brett Jones there. Again, not giving the free kick away. Got a hand to the ball. Look at this.
Trouble.
Ryan Brabazon, shimmy and finds Shammy out on the wing, on the half-forward flank, all by himself. No one even near him. But again, he worked hard to get to that position. Just backed his man. He backed his teammates to win the ball, and is not his strong point kicking for goal, but he'll prove me wrong here, I think, Corbin.
As he runs to 46 metres, and that is a great-looking kick. So a good passage of play by Claremont. Brett Jones and Brabazon, who's come off for a rest, both featuring strong.
Yes, we see Ryan Brabazon just slowly limping towards the interchange.
Yeah, he's slowly, while the physio's actually sprinting there, Macca, but that's not good sign for the Tigers already with Byron Shammer out for the game.
Andrews won the tap and dispossessed. Tregear in the pocket, snaps on goal for the Falcons. He's kicked a superb goal from the forward pocket.
Over the line.
Goes short to Black, who marks at half-back. An update in the Foxtel Cup semi-final as well. 6-4 Williamstown lead East Perth 2 behinds. That's at half-time, so a big margin blown out to 38 points in favour of Williamstown. Here's Tedesco in open space, couple of bounces down the outer side. Chip short. Flay, the dual best and fairest winner. Beyond the wing, you'll find Brown, who marks. Holds things up. He's side down by 3 points as Brown goes inside 50. Leaping up high and marking solidly is Gobles again. He was so good early. Hit a couple of goals for West Perth in that opening term.
Geez, they're strong hands,
He's one of the strongest marks in the competition. He's had 9 marks now for the game.
Marks where he is.
Just the 1 goal, in fact, for Jeff Gobles so far as a result of a 50-metre penalty after, again, taking a contested mark at centre-half forward and was marched to the top of the goal square. Much tougher angle on this occasion. 45 degrees left of centre. He'll have to start it out towards the left and hope the breeze can bring it back. He does so nicely. A goal to Gobles. That's his second, and the Falcons recapture the lead at home at Arena Joondalup. They move to 10-7-67. Claremont stuck on 10-4-64. Goes to the cross, slips the tackle from Wilkes. Short pass to the pocket, he finds Van Berlo. He'll just hold things up for West Perth. Jay Van Berlo wants to switch play to the opposite pocket. Wilkes getting back, affects the marking contest. Numbers at ground level. Rice, he's tackled, dispossessed. The 2 West Perth players collide together again. Foster, clever tap out towards Wilkes. Dribbling ball in the direction of Handley. He puts his head over it for Claremont. Eventually comes out the back. Now with Hutchins in close quarters. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50. Bouncing ball in the middle of Arena Joondalup. Gathered now by Crawford. Pumps it back inside 50 for the Tigers. Wilkes out of position. Out the back, Handley taken high.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Corbin. Good call. Rod, spin.
Boys, Elroy Gilligan at the moment come limping to the boundary. He's in the hands of the trainers at the moment, just getting a calf restrapped. I think he'll be okay.
From the line, he's fine.
Tell him he has to be spin.
That's right, he's got no choice.
Already lost Shammer this afternoon with a calf injury and a hamstring injury to Ryan Brabazon. If you're just joining us, Handley 15 metres out, point blank range, strolls in and goals. No.
Sneaks it in.
No, he has.
Just.
Only just. Look at his face, Trinity Handley. And relief now on the face of the Claremont's number 17.
Well, we've all missed one of them in our time, but snuck it in. You can see the relief on his face then, but badly needed one for the Tigers because of the position they're in with a couple down.
Wing goes to the lead there of Wilkes at full stretch. That'll test the hammies out on a cold day. Gives it off to Lee. The youngster goes a bit too short and a bit too high for Mitchell. Recovers brilliantly to Blackwell. Pops it up. Handley is clear. He'll go back for his kick.
He's standing there for about 20 seconons by himself, but unfortunately Mitchell couldn't get the ball. And
he doesn't like them close in, Todd, but he likes them from a long way out.
Yeah, well, he's just about back in the centre of the ground. He's got a longer run up than Dennis Lilly had in his heyday, but Luke Blackwell always uses it well. And yeah, as I said, Trinity Handley was standing there for quite some time. He's kicked the last goal. He'll have another shot from here, but pretty tough kick.
Yeah, they're all tough from out there. Range is the problem, but Handley, he nearly murdered the previous one, but he's on line from a long range. So 2 consecutive goals to Claremont from the boot of Trinity Handley and a little bit of breathing space. 12-6 to 10-11-7, rather the margin 11 points. Got the numbers down there. Andrews was buffeted out of the contest. Handley at ground level does well. Got a kick away. A hard-working kick. Over the top of Burns, favours Mitchell, runs to 50, kicks it out in front of Wilkes, and Saunders takes the mark, gathers it on the second attempt and goals. A young player with a lot of ability. He's got 3 goals, but it was the way that he went about getting it. He has really put some life into the Claremont supporters.
Yep.
As they disperse, we can have a look at the flags down there, and well, that's a pretty strong breeze. It's blowing. What would you say? It's from the northwest. Look at the other scores there, and pretty close down at Rushton Park. If you look at East Fremantle there, pretty inaccurate, 7-14 to 7-9. Just 5 points the difference down there in favour of the Sharks. Inaccuracy has really plagued them all year. And South Fremantle and Subiaco just South Fremantle by 8 points as we go down to Rod Willett.
Thanks very much, Phil. And I tell you what, the best thing about the huddle, it's about 10 degrees warmer when you're around all those bodies. But, Billy, I thought Claremont just clogged it up for you there a little bit. You couldn't get it into your half-forward line, and those 2 blokes, Beau Waters and Jones, just stopped everything.
Yeah, they did. And when we had a couple of half chances, we failed to take them too. So, look, we know it's going to be a tight tussle, and they're a very good side. So we need to take the most of our opportunities.
They're 2 down on the bench. Can you get them on the rotations? There's obviously a little bit of an advantage maybe to your end with the scoring at the moment.
Well, that's the plan, Spinner, so we'll see how that unfolds.
Tell us what you're going to do, Billy. Come on.
We're going to take them on a bit more forward of centre and try and get into our forwards, who I think can catch them out on the lead.
That's what we want, mate. Thanks.
Good on you, Billy.
That's the plan. It's cold. It's getting dark as well, so we're being assisted by the ground lights here at Arena Joondalup. Quarter to go. It's the Tigers by 16 points.
It'll be young Tom Lee to start in the ruck. Opposed to Stockley as Lee wins it down towards Foster. Here's Brown bustling through. Got a kick tumbling towards centre half forward. Row at the metre. Socket on by the Falcons. Inside their attacking 50. Waters unkind bounce is Mellington, the youngest player on the ground. He's been taken high.
He's caught one in the head there, but the umpire didn't see it till he held his head. But
why did Beau Waters stop?
No, I don't know. Maybe the bounce got him, but we'll see here. Mellington goes to the ground and he gets a knee and maybe a shin in the head there, and the young fella looks a bit dazed and confused, but he's just asked his teammate which way we're kicking, so at least he knows which way to go back and have a shot now.
Peel Thunder have hit the front by a point.
Thanks, Phil. Back to Joondalup. This will be a very handy start, Corbin, if the young man can slot this one.
Just 18 years of age, Josh Mellington.
He's got a big thumping left foot on him too, so he's just about back him from here.
On his way in, shooting from about 45 metres out. Kick on the way by Mellington. Accuracy is going to be an issue. It's out to the left, a minor score. Back to 15 points.
A bit of a let-off there. He's just trying to loosen up his neck there, young Josh Wellington. If West Perth kick the first goal, it's going to give them some real momentum. The kick in from goal is a good one from Rowe. Finds Jones, sends it down towards centre wing. Wilkes is up. Well, he couldn't hold the mark. Just overhead today, Beau Wilkes, who's normally so reliable, has dropped a few.
Yeah, no, he has dropped a couple, because that's one that you thought he'd gobble up. He made good position, took a good jump at it, and just 2-3 grabbed it. Unfortunately, went out of bounds right on centre wing, straight in front of us, Phil.
This throw-in also directly below us. Stockley won it. Foster ends up with it, loops a hand pass over to the run of Mitchell, and run he does. Almost gets to the corner of the centre square, goes long. Wilkes in front, fell over. Here's a chance now for Richardson to dive on it. Beaten, in fact, to it there by Lacroix. Handley, lowermost on the pack, hovering over the footy, holding the ball. Cry, the West Perth faithful, but the umpire will ball it up.
Geez, that looks pretty warm there.
Yeah, it looks warm. It actually looks cold.
Blankets.
Ross Parker in the background there with the white cap. AFL scout. Stockley again wins the tap. Gilligan with the run of the football. Blackwell needed to shepherd a bit more for him. Gilligan gets the kick away. Putting a fist up there with Shadbolt. He's hurt his back. Richardson after it again. Keeping front spot. Getting around onto his left. Or adjusting from the hand pass to the kick.
Dangerous.
It's come unstuck. Picked up by Gordon. And forward go West Perth. Long kick in toward the attacking 50. Getting back Franz. He just got in front of Salikas there. Hand pass to the grass. Rowe took a while to pick it up. Eventually he did. Hand passes into the path of Franz. released it quickly. Brett Jones will be important in this last quarter.
Well done.
Fainted.
And a
Oh,
great
look
kick.
at the finish. Is tremendous to Foster. Plays on. Didn't know Brown was there, but made light of it. Gets around onto his left boot. Goes with a short pass. Great fist away by Shadbolt. Wilkes is lurking there. Has Lacroix to beat, so he goes with a hand pass to Lee. Lee has got some time and space. Runs to 50 metres, almost. Goes to the goal square. Nearly a one-hander, socked through by the West Perth defenders running at the goal line. And it really was a frantic bit of play.
Tried to bring it in quickly, but just well done by Claremont. Get up quickly and just stopped a few options there.
Burns, the reigning best and fairest winner, along with his kick in, finds the former Blue in Stephen Brown back home at West Perth. Goes long with the kick, row marking. Back for Claremont. They've got 4 players behind the ball. Here's Rowe. He'll go down the line. Here's Lee, and he's all by himself, as Todd mentioned. Marking. He's got Stevenson on the short side. Sold the dummy to Strike, and then he'll give it to Stevenson anyway. In open space, Strike stop running the ball. An unkind bounce for Stevenson and rolls out of play.
Subiaco have hit the front, Corbin down in Esperance.
Very tight battle there.
Bit unfortunate there for Stevenson and Claremont. Ball just rolling away from him. We've got a stationary concert, Corbin, right on the 50.
So it'll be Stockley and Lee, the 2 backup ruckmen to go at it. Stockley in front, wins the tap. Here's Stockley following up again for West Perth. Gets the kick down the line, and Goebbels, who's been so good today, marking again overhead. On the defensive side of the wing, he's around, told to play on now as he kicks beyond the wing. Stockley drifting forward again. Mellington up in front. France from the back couldn't take the mark. Here's Van Berlo, dragged off it. Back to Stockley. Mellington, quick hands away to Tregear. He just chips to left half forward. Salikas, he's got Salicic on in the middle. If he can just get it over to him. Kick isn't great. Out to meet it is Waters. He's dragged off it. Free kick.
Yes, a bit unfortunate there for West Perth. Salicic just grabbing Bo Waters, we see in replay. Yeah, free kick there every day of the week.
So Waters to Stevenson, his West Coast teammate, marking it right half back.
Bo Wilkes again on a lead. Not forthcoming.
Stevenson inboard with his kick. He has to be good, and is. Finds France. Wanted to dish off a hand pass. He finds Anderson now. Takes a bounce as he strolls through the centre of the ground here at Arena Joondalup. 2 bounces. Anderson straightens up. Kicks down the corridor. Out on the lead, Saunders couldn't mark. Punch from the back, Van Berlo. Hand pass away to Goebbels. Now with Tedesco. He's run down. Crawford the tackler, advantage applied. Weirdon's kicked it straight into oncoming traffic. Holding decision going the way of West Perth. Advantage applied. Brown to Tregear. Marks at left half forward. About 70 out. Kicks to the hot spot. One-on-one target. Mellington and Franz. Mellington goes to ground. Franz off hands and knees. Hand pass away to Mitchell. He's run down. Great second effort by Josh Mellington. Mitchell far too casual in his defensive 50. Holding the ball.
He obviously thought...
Was there any talking there?
Well,
obviously not.
Obviously no talking. He obviously thought Mellington was still on the ground, but the young man got up and put on the chase. Well done, and very big kick. This one, right-hand goal post. No doubt about this. If West Perth can kick this, their supporters are going to grow another voice. And
that's possible?
Well, it is possible, Phil. I've seen it, growing a voice, and and the players will grow another leg. So massive kick, this one, in the context of the game.
So Mellington with a couple already, and he hangs it out to the left, a minor score. Haven't kicked a major West Perth, Phil, since the 12-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
Yes, that could come back to haunt them. And it was a fateful decision to take the advantage down the other end of the ground, because it came unstuck, and then West Perth in a trice had it down the other end of the ground. Anderson's been very good. Delivers to the lead there of Lee, who's marked strongly close to the boundary line.
Started this last quarter very well in the ruck, Tom Lee's taken 2 or 3 strong marks.
Very good young player. The Lee kick had some carry on it, and Brett Jones just couldn't get there.
Yeah, very disappointed he couldn't gather that, because if he did, he would have been away.
Just meeting his West Coast Eagles teammate there, Andrew Strike.
Just said, how you going, Andrew?
Friendly little bump. Another boundary throw-in. Andrews from behind. Stockley did well. Got a kick away through traffic. Just bouncing toward the boundary line. Jones there again is able to just meander the ball over the line for a throw-in. 15 points the margin. 7.5 minutes have gone.
He's working hard, Brett Jones, at the moment. Just see him sucking him in, but he's up back down to defence onto Coonan.
Stockley gets a front position, I should say. Foster from his knees, works a hand pass out of the traffic to Mitchell, swings it across his body, cartwheels into the possession there of young Black. Taken by Foster, another throw in.
Helped up by Black, very polite. Well done.
He'll go a long way.
Yeah.
So again, Stockley and Andrews. Good contest, real battle of strength. Andrews from behind, got a palm to it. Good bump by Foster, then he got possession. Can't get a disposal away. Andrews beaten to it by Hutchings, gets the hand pass up to Stockley, dragged down by McClernand. The kick still good enough to get to Mellington, who's marked right on the 50.
Too far out, he'll be looking for a pass here.
Too far out, you reckon?
Yeah, just too far, just a little bit too far out going off his last kick, Phil.
Sends it on its way. The breeze will bring it back into the goal square. Claremont have got plenty of numbers, but despite those numbers, they elect to rush it through for a behind.
Still can't get a mark up in their forward line, West Perth, can they?
No, back to 16 points as it was at three-quarter time, Corbin.
And the Tigers moving it in quickly. Here's the skipper, Clancy Rutherforth, marking it right half back, or rather left half back for Claremont. He'll kick down the line. Handley the target, up in front, couldn't take it as it comes to ground. Here's Sanderson, one way then the other. Hair pass forward, out in front of the path of Handley again. Tackled by Black, dishes it off to McClernand. Hand pass ill-directed to Hutchings. He too dispossessed. Anderson again, off to Blackwell. Running out of space, ran into his teammate in Waters. He's tackled, holding the ball.
Yes, you're right. Waters couldn't get out of the way then, but it was great work by Black, who's a very impressive young man.
As Black turns and tips further afield to Goebbels.
Talking about impressive, that's about mark number 11 or 12 now for Jeff Goebbels.
11, Todd.
Just
well
keep,
done.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Just keep presenting up all day, Jeffrey.
As Goebbels kicks to right half forward, he finds Gordon and about 70 out, wanting to get around Waters, does so. Hand pass forward to Stockley. Stockley now tackled, gets away a hand pass under pressure, out towards Strike, dishes it off to Salisic, kicks high inside the pocket. Rowe from the back got a hand on it. Tregear at ground level, snapping from the pocket. Tregear's got another. West Perth have closed the gap.
On his right.
Just his second goal, back to 8 points. West Perth to 11-11, 77. The Tigers 13-7, 85.
Sorry, Corbin, but he's kicked a couple of goals like that. That was on the right foot. He's non-preferred, as you see Salisic getting it forward. And Ian Rowe did everything right there, but look at this, straight front and square, right foot this time, and he's kicked a couple of them from either side of his body today, snapped it over there, and as I said, if they kicked a goal, West Perth, the supporters would start to get pumped up, as you can hear them in the background, and we can see them in front of us. They love their footy, and they're right in this game. Only 8 points with plenty of time to play.
Yeah, supporting the efforts there of Tregear. Goal of the day for mine. Brilliant stuff. 8-point leaders, the Tigers, and Peel Thunder 8-point leaders over East Fremantle, and it's Subiaco by just 3 points over South Fremantle. So close games, each of the three being played this afternoon. Swan Districts, Perth and East Perth, of course, having the bye. A group tap, went to Stevenson, hand passed it off to Mitchell. Long kick off, Lay! Going back with the run of the ball. Oh, surely that's not 50.
50 metres.
Oh, no.
That's not. The umpire, yeah, look, I'm not going to comment. Corbin, you take over.
Third of the day.
We see in replay here.
What could he do?
Well, he was just stopped. I mean, he could have absolutely put him into the ground there. We see another. Well, maybe the umpire thought he'd gone. Oh, he's actually reported him for striking, Phil. Now, there you go. So that'll be thrown out very quickly, I'd say.
Flay report for striking
has gone to the front side of the centre square.
Yeah, I don't think Bo Wilkes has got anything to worry about there, looking at that in replay. I mean, the elbow came up, but didn't really get too much contact. He was just protecting himself from the contact.
Flay, it didn't look like a big 50. Flay goes for distance. Putting that fist into it was Bo Waters. It goes to the boundary line and the ball just wins. 2,784 spectators in to a very cold arena Joondalup. I went for a swim this morning down at Cottesloe Beach. I reckon it's colder up here.
Why, Phil?
What would you be doing that for, Phil?
Go for a swim.
Boundary throw in his Cripps, leading to the chase for the footy, runs into his own teammate, somehow gets a boot on it, falls out towards Brown, who's taken high. Free kick to Stephen Brown.
I think that was the non-controlling umpire we'll see in replay there. Oh, geez, it didn't look too high from here. Maybe he got reported for that one too. but very, very important kick. Sorry, Corbin.
Here's Stephen Brown, the former Blue, played 23 games with the Carlton Football Club after being taken at pick 36 in the 07 National Draft. He'll be shooting from just inside the 50, starts it out towards the right, bends it back nicely. Brown goals for the Falcons, and they're back within a straight kick. Just 2 points the difference. Claremont 13-7-85. West Perth skip away to 12-11-83. We've been playing 13 and a half minutes as we take a look at the free kick again against Andrews. Over the shoulder to start with, then slipped down. Umpire spotted it. Brown went back and kicked the goal from 48 metres out. The Falcons back within 2 points.
Certainly made the umpire see that one, Stephen Brown, by throwing his head back, but the contact was there early by Mitch Andrews, and yeah, look, 2 points of difference. Exciting game, and as I said, the West Perth faithful have just started to get right into this game. They've been pretty quiet all day considering how they usually act around here.
Foster got it and got it onto his boot, dribbles into the possession of Strike, goes out wide. Black, the intended target, didn't get the best of bounces. Then he's taken high by Mitchell. Hutchings with the advantage sends the Falcons long and high. Stockley the target. Good fist by Franz. Crawford got the crumbs. Rowe just too slow. What's happened to these Claremont defenders?
Mellington again, I think it was too.
They're not talking. They are taking it just far too casually. You've got to assume that someone might be chasing you.
Oh, that's outstanding. That's Josh Mellington. Twice he's done that in this quarter, inside 50 to get another shot at goal from desperate defence. But you're right, Phil, just a lack of talk, but a lack of awareness there. Ian Rowe is probably one of the most aware. He's got the most awareness. I like the way he plays. Very, very intelligent footballer, but so is this kid, and he could put West Perth back in front. No, he hasn't. Just missed.
Has really got a hold of that one. It's amazing. That just goes to show you what a good kick that was of Stephen Brown's a moment ago to hold it on line.
Waters would have only just been inside the square when he kicked to himself. Long to Rowe. Brown from the side. Couldn't hang on. Down towards Stevenson. Socket out on the full by Bartholomew.
Corbin, I've got Mellington down for 2 goals 5.
Oh. I don't count points, Phil.
They do
I've got
count.
him down for 2 goals. They do.
Count.
They certainly will today when it's such a close game.
Here's Stevenson down the line. Hand on it from LaCroix. Wilkes went to ground. He's outnumbered. Plenty of West Perth players jump on top of him. The umpire to call for it.
Calling for holding the ball there. His ball's just rolled into him as they fire up again, the supporters. Brett Jones comes back on to the ground, and this game has got plenty of time left, but it's getting more exciting every minute.
Lift up to the hype as Handley went up and won to tap. Tregear just on the boot quickly. Was that out on the fall as well?
Brought up chalk apparently.
Yeah, just a bit of the paint as it goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in once more.
Boundary umpire was right there on the spot, but it was travelling at a rate of knots past his feet, but he's done the right thing, just called it for a boundary throw and right on the wing in front of us.
Right behind the throw in, 16 minutes. It's a point the difference into this final term. Down towards Gordon, and on the bottom of the pack, he's tackled by Foster.
Corbin,
the umpire to call for it again.
A point the difference here. Down at Ruston Park, it's all level.
Wow.
70 points apiece.
Close round of football.
Subiaco hanging on by 2 points down at Esperance. Wonderful round of footy. Lights are on here, as we mentioned. Third man up was Handley. Couldn't clear the area. Brown does with a grubbered kick into the path of Crisp, close to the boundary line. Oh, Ruderforth with a great tackle. The ball was already over. So Gilligan will give it back to the boundary umpire. Left half forward for West Perth, as Claremont did in the third quarter, doing virtually all of the attacking to the northern end of the arena. No, Ruckman went to it. Coonan ends up with it. Goes with a long kick to full forward. Crawford with a very decisive punch. The trusty left fist that cleared the fence.
The West Perth physio's out on the ground. He went to the Ruckman Coonan, who's hands on hips on the 50-metre line at the moment, but he won the ruck.
A seething mass of Falcons up there.
I reckon they've got to try and get J. Vern Burlow up forward. He can take a mark. He does it with the Dockers. Maybe that will get him a goal.
Brown read it off hands. Couldn't get a disposal away. Rowe does. Or to Waters, who was a bit too slow. Hand pass there from Joe Bells. And I think it was Strike who got a boot to it. Ricochets into towards where Rowe was. His hand pass missed Blackwell. Found the boundary line. So at the 17.5-minute mark, there'll be a boundary throw in, Corbin.
Amazing round of footy. Just about to tick into time on down in Esperance. It was 2 points the difference there. It was all locked up at the 25-minute mark down at Rushton Park. And just 1 point the difference here. So a combined margin of 3 points.
That's amazing.
Into time on in all 3 games. For the boundary throw-in, here's Jones going to ground. Mitchell wanted it the most for the Tigers. Hand pass away to Rowe in congestion. Richardson sweating on him, Shadbolt, as he has done all day. Ball spills out. Tregear tackled and dispossessed. Black over it. Now Strike. Hand pass back, but straight to Richardson. Puts it on the left boot quickly as he clears his defensive 50. Wilkes in front. Takes the mark. Taken high against Wilkes.
Controversial.
The Cras free kick on the outer wing. Puts the Falcons in their attacking half. Dropping the mark is Black. Hand pass under pressure. Gordon and tackled now. Ball spills free. Mitchell dives in on top of it for the Tigers. Tackled by Shadbolt. We'll have the ball up on the outer wing.
Kane Mitchell again on the bottom of the pack we see here.
Yeah, the arm was definitely over the shoulder.
Yeah, look, he was eyes on the ball all the way, but unfortunately just those big long arms went over the shoulder of Lacroix.
Kiernan down to Black. He's tackled. A hand pass away to Gilligan. Walks over the boundary line. 19-minute mark of the final term. Claremont 13-7-85. They lead West Perth 12-12-84. Tigers down to 20 men, and they have been since just after half-time.
Peel have kicked a goal down at Rushton Park as the ball comes to the back of the pack. Black, a hurried kick for the Falcons. Coming out to meet it there was Goebbels. Couldn't collect it. Brett Jones can. Clearing kick. Long kick to space on right centre wing. Bounces towards us. Race there between Lacroix and Wilkes. 2 veterans. Lacroix in his 200th game receives a standing ovation as he defended that ball as he had to the boundary line, but still West Perth need to score. Plenty of time, however.
Yeah, heaps of time. A few players out on their feet. Rose come off. Bo Wilkes just keeps putting in lead after lead. He's really tiring as well.
20 seconds before time on. Mitchell demanded the footy, stole it off Warden and got a kick, taken though by Brown.
Been very good.
Near the interchange area, the hand pass to Salisic. To Van Burlow, back to Brown, then to Salisic. They worked that out really well, West Perth. The high kick close to the boundary line. And it comes off the hand of Andrews' Strike. So now 20 minutes have gone. We are officially into time on, and it's the Tigers hanging on grimly by just 1 point.
Andrews off for a quick rest. Tom Lee back into the ruck.
Doing ruck opposed to Coonan, who won it. Rutherforth and Gordon, they're going to have to share that one, and the umpire will take possession and bounce it around about left half forward for West Perth.
Both teams really lifted their rating in the last few minutes.
So from the bounce, here's Hutchins, just slaps it forward for West Perth. Loose ball gathered by Tregear.
Well done.
Great smother by Jones, moving across and off hands, out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
The small things in footy like that, Corbin, which the coaches love. Look at that. Terrific smother there by Brett Jones.
Yeah, 2-goal lead now to Peel Thunder. 2-goal lead to Subiaco.
Lee in the ruck opposed to Kiernan. Kiernan at the back, double-fisted pump forward. Here's Gordon and over the footy. Foster jumps in on top of it for the Tigers. It's held in. Umpire to call for it again. About 35 metres out.
Mitch Andrews getting a lot of work down there on the boundary.
35 metres out from West Perth's attacking goal. Here's the bounce again. Oh, grabbing it out the ruck is Brown. Gives a hand pass away. Out to meet it was Chris. Back to Brown. Had his kick smothered. Now Bartholomew spills out to Lee. Put it on the boot quickly. Goebbels. He's tackled. Still bouncing around. Eventually Gordon tried to get a hand pass out. It's held to him. We'll have another bounce, Phil. Left half forward for the Falcons. 40 out from their attacking goal. Claremont by 1 point.
If I can use the old cliche, doesn't matter who wins, football's the winner here this afternoon. Ball up, taken by Mitchell, got it to his boot, believe it or not, didn't travel very far. Still a scramble. Goebbels trying to emerge. Eventually it's picked up by Van Burlow. Koonan could not and does. It just travelled the 15, you would think.
I was about to say, I didn't think that travelled. I thought the umpire was going to call play on it. It must have gone 15 and a half. If it's gone that at all, but the big fella, here we go, we're seeing replay here, the quick kick by Van Burlow, and it's travelled, yeah.
Hopelessly outsized Clancy Rutherforth there. He was never a chance, and Koonan, it's a pretty severe angle, but the breeze from this angle will help him if he shoots toward the right-hand goalpost.
Low and hard right-hand goalpost.
And low and hard, but wrong side. It is a tied ball game here at the arena.
Tied ball game, probably still 4 or 5 minutes left to play. Plenty in it as the West Perth chant goes up again, trying to get their team over the line in this big clash of the top two teams.
No one sends the mark, so Anderson kicks to himself, couple of bounces, now runs out to the outer wing, short pass, just getting it to its intended target. Here's Bo Waters, marking at left half back, and a couple of good things this afternoon for the Tigers.
Claremont haven't been able to get it forward for some time now.
Waters, long kick downfield from the back is Welks. He player went up in front in Handley, but it's West Perth as it comes to ground. Salisic, sweeping hand pass forward. Salikas on the outer wing, takes a bounce, can have a second, decides to kick. Goebel's the target from the back. Jones, another good coach saver, got the spoil. Hand pass away towards Gilligan. And Gordon just locks it in as well. We'll have a bounce at right half forward. Brett Jones saving the day again.
Desperate spoil there by Brett Jones. She looks warm and a bit concerned.
She looked goal.
Don't want to come out here and see a draw. You want to get a result.
Claremont have kicked just one behind in this final quarter. Punched forward by Crawford. Still no clean possession. Tedesco gang tackled Weirden, takes him to ground. We'll have a bounce at right half forward for the Falcons. The half's pretty much been played in their attacking half of the ground, Phil. 23, almost 24 minutes now played in this final term.
Some of the supporters starting to show the strain, so too the players. It came down to Van Berlo. High kick to full forward. Franz standing tall but couldn't hold the mark. Hutchings dives on it. Franz trying to extricate the footy. That's all done by Crawford, who finds a target in Brett Jones. He can flare it out wide to Anderson. He spotted him over the top of the umpire, and Anderson inside attacking 50 has the mark. Next score could just about win this. More than 24 minutes have gone, and now Lewis Stevenson. They're still on the left half-back flank, a long way from home, and they have really been forward in this final quarter. Stevenson, the long kick. Handley should mark, doesn't mark. Weedon feeds a hand pass to Mitchell. Claremont are going forward. They've got it to half forward. Flay getting back. Couldn't take the mark. Saunders is there. Also Richardson feeds the hand pass to himself. Shadbolt, play on course the umpire. Hand pass along the boundary line. Weedon forcing an error, and Coonan not playing with his hands, was unable to pick it up. So 25 minutes will have gone by the time this ball is thrown back into play, and it looks like Peel Thunder will win their 17 points ahead of East Fremantle. Mark Lacroix looking on.
They've played 250 times, these two teams, with just the one draw previously between them in the history of the Claremont and West Perth footy clubs. From the boundary throw-in, here's Salisic, head over the footy again. Hand pass out to Tedesco. Gets a clearing kick towards the outer wing, bouncing footy.
Deliberate.
Go out.
Yes, he's called deliberate.
What?
Yeah, look, I was about to say a minute ago, hopefully the umpires will just put the whistle away, not got any controversial free kicks, but there's one as they play on to Franz on the centre wing.
Subiaco by 2 points.
So Brendan Franz on the defensive side of the wing. He'll go back to Louis Stevenson, marking overhead. All tied up, 25 and a half minutes play, just the 2 goals in this quarter. Coming up at the 10 and 13 minute marks as Stevenson just goes long inside 50. Up in front, Crawford comes to ground, try to shovel a kick forward, McLernan. Salisic tackled in the back against Clay McLernan. And 50 as well. That's the 4.
What was that for?
4 50-metre penalties today, all going the way of the West Perth Footy Club.
They're starting to stamp their authority, the umpires. Don't know what that was for, not sure of our cameras. We didn't quite hear what the umpire said, but
that's extraordinary.
He's still having an argument, but I'm not sure what that was for. Philip?
I don't think I could be a coach, Todd.
No, you couldn't, Phil.
Long towering kick by Salisic, deep into the forward line. Ball needs to be crumbed, comes to Gordon, feeds it to Brown, smothered by Stevenson, who's got the run of the footy, gets the hand pass out in front of himself. Maybe that's in the back. The umpire, no whistle on this occasion. Well, now he bounds it. Look at the pressure.
Yep.
It's really telling on spectators and players alike. 27 minutes nearly gone.
Replay, the smother there, Stevenson, it was well done. As any score will do, a mark inside 50 to West Perth.
Can they mark? No, they can't. Putting his head down was Rowe. Claremont getting plenty of numbers back. Blackwell came out with it. Hand pass taken though by Rice. Haven't seen a lot of him. Opens it up for Coonan. Stands, delivers to the goal square almost. The ball hits the ground. Here's a chance for strike. No, it's picked up by Van. He's kicked the goal. The arena has erupted wildly. West Perth supporters
Now we're going to be listening to Rob Willett in a minute to say I made that move. He's punching the air down there, Rob, harder than Jay Van Berlo was punching the air. Well done, Spin. What do you think about that one?
No, it's all good, Mark. All good.
The call came from Rod Willett 10 minutes ago to put Jay Van Berlo down forward. He can take a mark, but not only can he take a mark, he can crumb a football. And 6 points the difference. Probably still another minute or two left in the game, Corbin, but West Perth in front and up and got the advantage at the moment. Claremont have really struggled to get it forward.
Just one behind in this final term for the Tigers. Now 28 minutes old, down to 20 men without Brabazon and also Shammer. They've struggled in this final term. Cunin hand pass, but here go the Tigers. Here, this is Mitchell through the middle of the ground, puts Claremont inside their attacking 50, numbers back, and a saving mark by Strike. And the familiar cram, which often happens to the player who marks deep in defence for the team that's leading late in the game, a short pass. And he finds Lacroix, the Jules Simpson medal winner, in the back pocket. He'll bring the ball down the outer side. Short pass again onto Mark Hutchings. The saving goal to Van Berlo moments ago has put West Perth up by 6 points. Here's Hutchings, called now to play on. Kicks down the line to half-back, and another mark. Salisic this time.
Cheering every mark, every kick at the moment. The West Perth faithful, they're loving this.
Just about to tick past the 29th minute. Here's Jason Salisic, called to play on. He'll load up and kick long down the line. Claremont players underneath it. Andrews up in front, off hands down to Van Berlo. The goal scorer from moments ago. Chips over the top. Running out in front is Rice. He gathers it half forward. Rice kicks towards the top of a vacant goal square. It's gone straight across the face, and it's out of bounds. We'll have a throw-in the forward pocket for the West Perth Footy Club. They lead by 6 points deep in their attacking 50.
Still a chance for Tigers, but it's down the wrong end at the moment. And West Perth, we're just looking to tie this ball up. Every single player inside the 50
and
just about.
29 and a half minutes gone. The clock well against them. Mellington with the chance. Dispossessed. The ball alive for Brown. Got a boot to it, but it was smothered to the boundary line. So another throw in. Bo Wilkes has gone deep into the defence. The West Perth supporters hopeful.
Well, if
the time is on their side.
If Claremont win this ball, there's not really much to go to anyway. And they're going to be held up onto the wing.
They're going to have to run the footy. The ball's still alive. Mitchell.
Again.
Can he inspire them? He gives it to Whedon, who runs with it. He has to run with it. There's no option.
Well, he ran a long way with it, Phil. He ran too far. I thought that was a good mark by Hanley. Unfortunately, the free kick. And there's the siren. It's all over. Great win by the Falcons to hold top spot. What a game, Corbin.
Well, if that's the teaser, I can't wait to see the whole show in September when these two teams meet again, the West Perth and Claremont Footy Clubs. And the Falcons have won today at home. Another scalp in a close game over the Tigers, 13-13-91. The Tigers, 13-7-85.
Yeah, just a brilliant.
Played in great spirits too. You see a lot of players.
Brilliant performance by both sides, Todd.
Yep, yeah, it certainly was, Phil. Some entertaining football there in West Perth. Oh, there's a free kick. Oh, he was having a shot after time, but it didn't matter. But as I said, played in great spirits. Everyone out there, all the players are absolutely spent, shaking hands. Great to watch, and they will be meeting each other at least another 2 times this year. I can see that. And as you said, mate, it's...
well, Candice, next week, live up to this one as Andrew Strike shakes hands with Kane Mitchell. We're looking forward to more footy, but what we saw today was just absolutely outstanding. The players would be absolutely exhausted. It was the only quarter that West Perth won for the entire day. They trailed by 3 points at quarter time, 9 points at half time, 16 points at three-quarter time, and they had to come from behind against an undermanned Claremont. And they did that in fine style to run out winners by a goal, and you can see how elated their supporters are.
Yeah, it was a mighty effort by the Tigers after only having 20 fit men, but West Perth dug deep, and Jay Van Berlo going forward and kicking the winning goal.
Let's have a look now at the goal scorers, and it was for Foster and Saunders, who kicked 3 for Claremont, 2 to Handley, and for the Falcons, 2 goals apiece to Gobels, Salikas, Tregear and Mellington. chief possession. Well, there's the goal scorers. We just gave you the quarter by quarters, but 3 points, 9 points, then 16 points, all in favour of the Tigers. And then they were terrific to win in a great last quarter. Go Bells was terrific with 11 marks, 25 possessions to Brown, 21 to Strike, and 22 to Hutchings, who really came good. Gilligan and Stevenson, big possession winners. Blackwell with 26 as usual. Foster took 6 marks and kicked 3 goals. Brett Jones in defence was outstanding with 20 possessions and 7 marks. As you can see, them all thrown together there at the end of the day. It was the Tigers who were so valiant, but all in vain as the Falcons prevailed